Kristen of the Oosterhout Free Library, and fall is a great time to talk about these guys, apples. Apples are awesome. Why? Well, they've been in existence for over 2 million years. There's thousands of different varieties of apples. There's so many things you can do with an apple, and most of all, they're nutritious and delicious. So today I'm going to share a short story with you about apples, and then we'll do a science experiment activity that you can eat, and we'll even make some cool crafts, just like this guy, and more. So let's get started.
One Red Apple by Harriet Seifert, illustrated by Carla Gudian, and published by Blue Apple Books. One red apple. Pick a red apple from a tree. Drive a ripe red apple to market. Buy a sweet red apple at a farm stand. Enjoy a crunchy red apple. Delicious. Leave an apple core for the birds to eat. Wait while birds and animals leave seeds everywhere. See small sprouts peek out from the earth. Grow, apple tree, grow year by year. Grow year by year until you become a big tree. Bloom, apple tree, and dress yourself with white and pink blossoms. Grow, little apple tree, grow week by week until you're ready for picking. Thank you, birds, sun, and bees. Thank you, Earth, for one red apple.
It may take up to 10 years for an apple to grow from a seed to a tree, to blossom, and to the tasty fruit that we can eat. But it's certainly worth waiting for. Well, let's not wait any longer, and we're going to start with a science activity that you can do at home that is good enough to eat. What are some things that come from an apple? Well, apple juice, of course, right? And everybody's favorite, applesauce. Like this. And you don't even need that many apples, but you will need a grown-up's help. And of course, some apples. Doesn't matter what kind you have, just whatever you like, but you will need a masher like this and a fork. But before we do that, let's look at the inside of an apple.
Inside the apple is juicy, and that part is called the flesh. The outside covering is called the skin, and people can eat the skin and the flesh, but not the seeds. That's for growing new apple trees.
So I want you to look on the inside of the apple after a grown-up has cut it open for you, and I want you to make some observations. I want you to touch it. How does it feel? Is it hard? Is it soft? If you were to bite into it, would it be crunchy? What color is the inside of the apple? And then after you've done that, the grown-up will cut it up into small pieces, no bigger than an inch. And then I want you to take your masher or your fork and try to make applesauce. What is going to happen? Do you think, is it going to be easy to make it? Go ahead and try it. What did you find out? Was it hard? It was a little bit hard to make it into the same consistency of what we know as applesauce. So you're going to have to make a change to the apple. And here's the science part. That's called an irreversible change. And if you want to know a little bit more of what that is, think about like an ice cube. If you had an ice cube and you left it out, it would turn to water. Then if you put it back in a container and put it back in the freezer where it was cold, it would turn back into an ice cube. Now that's a reversible change. You can change from ice to water back to ice. But with an apple, we're going to do an irreversible change. It means once it's been changed to something else, it can't go back. And what we're going to change is this apple into applesauce. But we need something to do that. Now, just like in the ice cube, it needed cold. But this time we're going to use heat. And so the grown-up is going to go ahead and put this into a pan, and you're going to heat it up. So let's take a closer look at the directions and how you can make applesauce. Let's get started. Apple.
There are many different ways that you can make your own applesauce, but basically you need about 4 or 5 medium apples, half a cup of water, a 1/4 cup of sugar, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I'll add a few other things at the end that you can put in optionally. Adults can peel and cube the apples and add the apples to the right size pan. You don't want too big a pan because it might overcook your apples. You're going to cover them with water, approximately half a cup. And again, that will depend on the size and amount of apples that you're using. When the water boils, you reduce the heat, stir, and continue cooking approximately 20 minutes until the apples are the desired consistency. You can add the sugar and half a teaspoon of cinnamon. You can also choose instead to use brown sugar or even a splash of vanilla. And now the kids, this is the fun part. You get to mash it together with a fork or a masher. And go ahead and see if you could tell if it was easier or about the same as when you tried before you applied heat. And then lastly, of course, you eat it and enjoy it.
Did you notice that changed with the apple when you had heat applied to it? Did it look a different color than when you started? Did it taste a little different? Did it smell a little different? I hope most of all that it's tasted delicious. But let's get started with some other fun apple activities that you can do using an apple. Well, that is if you have any apples left. Let's get started.
If you're not up to making applesauce, or maybe you want another apple treat, you can make your own apple car. Just go ahead, take a slice of an apple and 2 toothpicks and a round fruit like a sliced grape or a banana slice. And this is actually food that you can play with. You can even make apple prints if you have any extra apples left over, or maybe one that you've had in the fridge a little too long. Just cut the apple in half, grab some paint and some paper, and make a beautiful artistic creation with an apple.
You can also make this very cute apple craft. I'll put a pattern in the description box below, along with the links that were mentioned in this video. I hope you had fun. Bye!